Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So yeah, in this one I'm going to be talking about 5 first time watches for me that I saw for the first time in the month of December 2022. So yeah, these are just 5 older movies I've picked that, yeah, surprisingly I'd never seen before. These were first time watches, going into them completely sort of blind, didn't know anything about them. And yeah, just now that I've seen them, including them in this video. So yeah, the first movie that I watched for the first time was The Joy Luck Club. So I believe this was an early 90s movie, and I've got to say I was really, really impressed by this film. It sort of tells this story about these families over, I think, a couple of generations, and just sort of the ups and downs that these families go through. They sort of follow them in China, and then the newer families they sort of follow in San Francisco, I think in the early 90s. And yeah, it was just one that really, really surprised me. I thought it was a fantastic drama with some fantastic performances in it, and it's definitely worth checking out if you've not seen it. And I really, really enjoyed this one. So yeah, that is The Joy Luck Club. Next up, I watched a sequel from James Cameron for the first time. I'd never seen this movie. I'd watched the original one as well this month on Blu-ray, and that was directed by Joe Dante, and that was the first Piranha movie. So the next movie I saw for the first time was Piranha 2, The Spawning. Um, Now, I've got to say, I liked the first film, but I really enjoyed the second one, and I think the second one is more renowned for being a worse movie. I'd say that's true on a technical level, but for sheer entertainment, I enjoyed the hell out of this film, and I really, really got a kick out of it. I thought Lance Hendrickson was great in the movie. He's sort of like a James Cameron staple, appearing in movies like The Terminator and Aliens. And I know there's a bit of a debate as to whether this is 100% solely a James Cameron movie. I do believe, I think he was fired towards the middle or the end of the production. Um, but yeah, I count it as a James Cameron movie. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I was entertained despite its lack of quality. But yeah, it was one I just really, really enjoyed. So yeah, that is Piranha 2, The Spawning. Now, the next movie I watched was one that sort of, I believe it was spawned from a TV show. And everyone who loves the TV show says the TV show is absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant. One of the best comedies from the 90s, one of the best British comedies. And they say that the movie is pretty much the worst thing to be associated with the TV show because they just say it's not as enjoyable as the show. I've only ever seen one episode when it originally aired, and other than that, I haven't seen anything else to do with the show apart from this movie. And it is the bottom movie guest house parody. So, and I've got to say, I enjoyed this movie for what it was. So if the movie's anything to go by, it's probably going to tell me that the show is absolutely fantastic and that it is one of the best comedies. I thought the humor in this was just really, really on point, over the top, hilarious slapstick. It's just these two guys trying to run this hotel and beating the shit out of each other. And yeah, people say it's not the best, but I did enjoy it for what it was. It was entertaining. I remember it being advertised, I think, back in the late 90s when it came out. But I got to say, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Um, yeah, maybe down the line I'll give the TV show my full in-depth attention. But yeah, I've got to say, I enjoyed this for what it was. I had a really fun time with it. Um, it is what it is. It's that sort of slapstick humour. If it's not for you, it's not going to be for you, obviously. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was entertained. It was great to see Rick Mail in another movie. And yeah, I just had fun with it. So that is Guest House Paradiso. So the fourth movie I've picked is a sort of horror movie that I enjoyed. I'd heard many different things about it. It's got one of my favourite actors in, which is Kiefer Sutherland. So yeah, that is Mirrors. Um, yeah, it was one of those sort of forgettable mid to late 2000 horror movies, I think. But for what it was, I'd say this is one of the better ones. And yeah, I can't really say much more about it than that. It's probably on this list by default, just because I didn't really see that many movies for the first time this month. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It wasn't awful. It was a solid 6 out of 10 for me. It was an above average movie. Kiefer Sutherland for me is the main attraction for this movie. He is what makes it. I did like Amy Smart in this movie too. I do like it when she pops up in movies like Rat Race and Road Trip. But yeah, this was fun for what it was. It wasn't amazing. It didn't blow my socks off, but I did still like it on some entertainment level. I could appreciate things in this movie. It's worth checking out. It might not be for you, but for me, it was sort of one of those one-time watches. I might go back to this a couple years down the line. But yeah, I did enjoy it for what it was. So yeah, that is Mirrors. And the last movie I've picked was, again, I think this came out in the late 90s, if not early 2000s. It's a movie I've heard of so many times, but never actually got around to watching it in full until last month. So yeah, that is Deep Rising. I just thought this was a great sort of over-the-top 90s creature feature. And that is the movie in a nutshell, to be honest. Didn't really blow my socks off, but again, it was a lot of fun. Great to see Femke Jensen in this movie as well. Really like her from the X-Men films, the Taken movies as well. And yeah, just thought it was fun for what it was. Over the top, silly goofiness, directed by Stephen Sommers, obviously. Yeah, he did some movies in the 90s that he's more known for. But yeah, it was fun for what it was. I did enjoy it. Just thought it was good, goofy fun. Very tongue in cheek, nothing too serious, but I did enjoy it for what it was. So yeah, that is Deep Rising. So yeah, those are my 5 picks that were first time watches for me in the month of December 2022. So yeah, gonna leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.